Welcome to the Thorns Crusader guide by Fantasmagore. Before I start this guide, I just want to introduce who I am and what made me start playing this character as a Thorns character. I've played lots of games in the past. You name it, I've pretty much played it if it's a PC game. I've played D2 for I don't even know how many years. I went from that to another game called MU or Mu Online, and then from there I pretty much branched off and played any big title, you know, because back then there wasn't that many online MMOs. But that's not why you're here. You don't want a story about that. But when Diablo 3 went to shit and it was horrible and no one was really playing it, my friends and I, we decided to play the game Path of Exile. Everyone that's played that game knows about a burning discharger. Well, that's what I played, and I had a lot of fun with it. That's what this build plays like. It really does feel like it. It feels like a mixture between a burning discharger and a windy druid from D2. So if you guys don't know what either of those are, or you know what those are, and that intrigues you and you enjoy playing those, by all means, please keep watching the video and you guys will see everything else that you need to do in order to do this build. In this video, I'm going to be going over gear, what items to get, what Paragon points, why Wes is a faggot, the number and theory and formula behind Thorns, my stats and what core stats to go for, the playstyle and group playstyle, which bosses to kill, because there's some bosses that are really hard for you to kill and how to kill them, the pros and cons of the build, and again, why Wes is a faggot. So I'm going to go and start off by showing you my gear. Now, I change my gear constantly, so please keep that in mind. Let me grab my other items out of my bank so you guys can get an idea of what what I used to have before I started gearing what I currently have. Hopefully I don't miss anything. Should be it. Okay, so I'm going to start with my gear. I'm going to go top to bottom from helmet to boots, and I'll try to give you the best explanation and my logic behind why I'm using it. I have a Helm of Rule. The Helm of Rule is a level 70 version of the Helmet of Command. It is the only helmet in the game that has that can give you chance to block. Chance to block is a very valuable stat, not only for this build, but for all Crusaders. The only thing that sucks about this is currently in the game, I don't know if it's a bug, I don't know if it's intended, but I will run over to the enchanter really quick, and if you pay attention, I've never enchanted this helmet before. Now look, normally if you want to get Thorns, you just reroll a secondary stat, which secondary stat on this helmet is arcane resistance or increased experience for monsters. Well, okay, I'm going to do this one. Well, if you look at all these possible properties, not a single one of them are Thorns. Okay, well that's fine, I'll go to the other one. Same thing, not a single one of those are Thorns, so it doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's working as intended. Okay, so pretty much that's my helmet. I wish I could get a helmet just like this that gives me either a socket or blessed hammer damage. Other than that, I like this helmet exactly where it is. If it has Thorns, awesome, but again, because of the bug, I can't get it, so I'm just going to deal with the cards that they dealt me. My amulet is just a really good amulet, but it has, I reroll Thorns on. I could get a better one, but again, it's all about finding it, and I've yet to find it. Pretty much, if I was going to look for a better one, I'd want this to have vitality on it or increase minimum to max damage. And all resist wouldn't help either, but this amulet as it stands right now is probably easily top 3 best amulets for my character currently. Now, before I go past this helmet, this helmet, I don't want to call it a best in slot, but it is, simply because of the chance to block. If you already have a high chance to block, let's say you have a Justice Lantern ring, then you probably wouldn't need this helmet, and you could probably use something else. My other helmets that I normally use is the Crest Killer, because it gives me Thorns and it gives me Blessed Hammer damage. But I lose a lot of survivability, and I lose my crit chance. That 11% chance to block is literally life or death for me. That's my old helmet rule. I like it a lot. It gives you reduced duration on impairing effects. That's reduced CC effects like snares, frozen, that type of stuff. It also has a socket on it, which is really good. But it has that chance to fear on it. That chance to fear felt like 300% and not 3%. So I made another one. My shoulders, these are perfect, not stat-wise, like stat rules, but as which stats I've gotten. I haven't touched these, I've never re-rolled them, because I got everything I wanted. I got strength, I got vitality, I got resist, I got cooldown reduction, and I got thorns. Those are everything I want. I don't want to touch this item, I don't want to ruin it. So again, those are my shoulders. A lot of people ask me why I go with the demon set shoulder and armor. Honestly, it's because at the time I made the demon set, it's because those were my two weakest items. They were the worst. I say do the same thing. If you need a belt, roll a demon hide belt. If you need bracers, roll demon hide bracers. But please be aware that the bracers do not roll thorns on them. You cannot roll thorns on them. It's a bug just like the helmet. I don't know why, but you cannot reroll thorns. So please keep that in mind if you're making the set. Again, demon armor. This is honestly, I have a love-hate relationship with this armor. I love it because I get the 2-set bonus, but other than that, it's complete shit. I re-rolled Thorns onto it, and it took me almost 20 to 30 Forgotten Souls, and I'm still paying for it to this day. Like, it's really bad. It doesn't give me strength, which is whatever, but it came with 3 sockets, so it made up for it. I've rolled about 7 to 10 of these armor, I've made 7 to 10 of them, and this is the best one I've gotten, so thank you, RNG. Here are my braces, Nemesis bracers. These are not the best in slot, and I do not recommend these. They're awesome bracers, do not get me wrong. But the reason why I'm wearing these is because, yeah, they're gonna laugh, but I'm not gonna lie. I had a really good pair of legendary bracers. I don't remember which ones they were, but it was perfect. They were perfect about them. It was like, I think 15 or 17% physical damage, which you need that. It was perfect strength on it, perfect crit hit chance, and on top of that, it gave me perfect vitality, and it had it was like a 2 points from being away a perfect roll on Thorns, and I salvaged it. As for best in slot, I would say there isn't one currently. I would say swap it around to your playstyle or what your gear allows, or whatever you find. I'm aiming for Thorns the Invoker bracers. That's what I'm aiming for. Normally I just keep these Nemesis bracers in my inventory like this, and when I find a shrine, put those on. Everyone knows the routine. My gloves aren't that good. I'm still holding out to find a new pair of gloves. I don't know what I could put there. I'm still thinking about it. But this just gives you an idea of what you can roll for, or what to look for when you're gearing up or starting out a Thorns build. This had strength and vitality, and I think it had life per hit on it. It has a really high crit chance on it already, and it can reroll Thorns already. So I just re-rolled it like that. These are good. These are what you need. This is really good. So if you guys are starting out, keep that in mind. I'll go over what stats you want to prioritize after I go through everything else here in a little bit. I use the Thunder Gods, or T-Gods, for my belt. It's really good, since I used to stack lightning damage. It's just an all-around good move, or good item. I use Punish, so again it's increased, and since I have a high block chance, those little lightning discharges, or sparks, or whatever you want to call them, they hit pretty hard, 2 to 3 mil constantly. So they're pretty, and like I said, I shoot them off all the time. This ring, again, it just gives you everything you need for a Thorns build. I wish it had vitality on it, but it's perfect. I couldn't ask for a better ring. I really do mean that. This is my Oculus ring. This is not a core item to the build. I'm using it personally because I found it and I was going to salvage it, and I actually looked at it for a second. I had my mouse right on it, right about to salvage it, and I took a look at it, and if you look, if you guys can see the numbers, that's almost a perfect roll on that. Really close to being perfect. So it's a good fucking ring. I mean, this gives you everything. The only thing that sucks about it is the attack speed on it. This build does not use attack speed, and I'll go over that in a little bit on why. Or I'll go over that when I go over stats on why you don't want to stack attack speed. These I do think are best in slot for this build. I've tried to use other pans constantly, but I always feel like I'm lacking that extra oomph, that extra damage that these offer. I did reroll strength onto them because my friend found these and they had decks on them and he gave them to me. I want to find a new pair of them that have 2 sockets already and have a high strength roll so I can reroll Thorns on. What these do is you fart and it does damage every second for every 10 seconds. Now a lot of people, they see these, they're like, oh, those are junk, whatever. No, these are really good because it does damage every second, not damage over 10 seconds. There's a big difference there. A lot of people look right past this. I'll explain to you guys in a little bit on why these play a huge deal in the build. Here's my weapon. This is the only item that is core to the build. A lot of people have been following my stream or my guide on forums. I don't know what forums you guys are coming from or what website you found this video on, but a lot of people have been following me and they say, you know, oh, I don't have Schaefer's hammer, but your build's working fine. A lot of people are saying, you know, I have all your items, I have everything, but I don't have, you know, Schaefer's hammer. What am I doing wrong? And I don't know what to tell them. But they tell me the second they get the hammer, the build is just becomes smooth, becomes really fluid. Everything just falls together and it works wonderful. What makes this item really good is, if you read it, getting hit has a chance to charge you with lightning, causing you to deal 226% weapon damage as lightning every second for 5 seconds. Now what makes that really good is it gives you like a lightning damage aura. Again, if you play D2, it's almost like having Hurricane up on a druid. It's seriously like that. It's just constant hitting them. And it's not 1, 2, 3, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hit. So it's really nice to have. And again, it just synergizes with the build so precise that I could not ask for anything better. Again, I do think this is better than any other item you can have for the build. A lot of people are asking about Thunder Gods. A lot of people are asking about Shard of Hate. I hope I'm saying it right. A lot of people are asking about Hack. There's another weapon I don't remember, but this is definitely the best in slot. I don't see Hack being better than this. I'll show you guys when I go over gameplay on why it works well, and you guys will understand it. I have illusionary boots. I actually did take the time to farm for these on the Act 2 caches. I like them. I got decent rolls and everything. What they do is you may move unhindered through enemies. What makes those really good is you go right through enemies. They don't block you, and everyone knows how annoying it is when they're standing in a doorway and you die because you can't go anywhere and there's something blocking you but you can't see them. Well, these boots prevent that from happening. And since the way you play this build is you keep moving, these are perfect for it. I do think that these are one of the best in slot items. But I want to get a pair of Firewalkers to try with the build, but I've yet to find any, so until then, I do think that these are core. I don't want to say core, but I do think that they're up there with either being the top 2 or top 3 best boots for this build. Now here's my shield. My shield, I use a spiker. I don't know how to say that, so I'm just going to stay away from it and not even embarrass myself or the developers in trying to pronounce it. Basically, what makes this shield good is that whenever you provoke enemies, they take double damage from Thorns. Now, a lot of people think they take double damage Thorns after you pop your Iron Skin or so on and whatever. Well, no, it doesn't work like that. Basically, it just doubles your Thorns damage. That's it. I think I do around 700, about 700k to 800k Thorns damage when they hit me. So they take around, 1.4 mil, 1.6 mil, which is by no means, a laughable damage. That's good damage. It's free damage pretty much. And I just like the shield. It's really good. I have another one right here, which is I re-rolled so it has a chance to bleed. What makes that good is Thorns have a chance to proc bleed. It's just really good. It's smooth. If I'm playing with a big group of people, I'll probably use that. If I'm playing on a higher difficulty, I use Defender of Westfall. It gives you everything you need, and also it synergizes with the build, because if you pay attention, blocks have a chance to summon a little dog. That little dog is, I don't even know how to compare him. Let me run over to the blacksmith lockbox, the one that everyone trips over constantly until they just patched it recently. The dog is maybe as big as this lockbox right here, and what makes it really good is there's no eternal cooldown, basically meaning that you could shoot out 20 of these fucking dogs as long as you're blocking attacks instantly. Which I've seen my character shoot about 4 or 5 of them instantly, and they hit for 3-4 mil, like really good damage. That's what it looks like. It's on my character's back. It's a really solid shield. So if you have one of these, I would suggest you hold on to it. And it also comes with a high chance to block, which is really nice too. Okay, now a lot of people are asking right now, and I know you're probably screaming at the YouTube video, asking why do I not use these? The Sanguinary Vamp Races. I'm going to explain to you why. That 1000% damage of your Thorns they're additive, not multiplicative. They do 1000 of this Thorns damage. So that would be 320k damage, which is nothing. I just said my normal Thorns damage hit for about, I don't know, like I said, 700k to 800k. So I'm losing damage with those. Just to show you how much of a piece of shit they are, and I'm not fucking with you guys, that's how much of a piece of shit they are. They are complete junk. I do have Thorns of the Invoker shoulder part, or whatever you call it. I almost call it the old over-the-shoulder boulder holder. I'm not using these because I would lose to 2-set bonus and in return lose Thorns. I do plan on using this set. I want to have the 4-set bonus along with using the 2-set of the demon set. But until then, this is staying in my bank, and when I find the second piece of Thorns, pretty much a lot of my items will change. So, okay, now I'm gonna go over my skills really quick for you guys. Okay, now for skills, there's Punish, and I use Retaliate. A lot of people use Roar. If you don't have some of the items like Schaefer's Hammer or the Fart Pans or T-Gods, then you can use Roar to help you with that extra AoE clear. But I personally, I love Retaliate. That move is amazing. Secondary is optional. I see some people use Fist of the Heavens. I've seen Blessed Shield. Another person recommended to do Shield back since you kind of use a lot of block chains anyway. But no, I use Thunderstruck because if you look, the lightning arcs from the hammer to your character, they'll follow you until that hammer disappears. So what that does is it lets you pick up the movement or the run speed. I don't want to say the run speed, but let's say you're running a rift. It lets you clear the rift faster than a normal Crusader would, because how you play this character is you attack, run, stop, that type of deal. And it really makes up for the Crusader having really shitty movement speed. Again, it's optional. I've seen people throw so much shit in there. Runes are optional. Again, I was stacking lightning, so I went with that. This is the only skill that is mandatory for the build to work. Iron Skin with Reflective Skin. It does 200% Thorns damage to all your attackers. Now the way that works is, because a lot of people are confused, how does 32k Thorns translate to 44 mil damage? Because I'll show you guys in a little bit how much damage I can do with Thorns. But the regular math formula for Thorns for every character is main stat divided by 100 divided by 4 times your Thorns damage. So then you get your real damage output. Now you take that number and you multiply that by 200%. So you would take my 800k and multiply that by 200%, and then you also got to add in my crit hit damage, and then you would get how much damage you would do, and so on and so forth, with lightning bonus damage, physical. This also is physical damage. A lot of people don't understand that, but it is physical damage. So physical damage increasing abilities on items do increase it, but on normal Thorns they don't. And then the Reflective Skin formula is main stat divided by 100 plus 1 times Thorns squared. I hope I'm saying that right. I think it's Thorns squared. Divided by... let me double check it. No, I'm not going to double check it. Honestly, I'm going to feel like a dumbass for saying this, and you guys are probably going to think I'm stupid. Scratch the whole formulas, because a lot of people, they like to break down the math, and I get it. I'm like that too. Don't get me wrong. But if you really want to see how much damage you're doing, go out and let a monster fucking hit you. Go out and pop Iron Skin, because that's the only concrete data you're going to get on how to see how much damage you're doing. Because when it comes out of the formula, I've seen at least 10 different formulas on how to calculate Thorns damage, and not one of them have been close to being the exact same. So, what I just said about the Thorns formula and the Iron Skin formula, it's up to you guys if you guys want to do that or not. I personally, I go out and let monsters hit me so I can actually get a good range of damage of what I'm dealing with. Now, I use Provoke. Now, Provoke is semi-bugged. And what I mean by that, it's semi-bugged, is a lot of times when you fight enemies, when you provoke them, they'll run around you like jackasses. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. But a lot of times I will actually swap this out for something else. Any rune is viable except for Too Scared to Run, because you're going to reduce their attack speed and then return reduce damage hitting them because they're not going to hit you as much. So again, don't do it. Your 3 skill, this is the only skill. Your 3 slot is 100% optional. Change it to whatever runs you're doing, change it to whatever build you're doing, change it to your playstyle. If I'm playing on a higher difficulty, which I was just playing on Torment 4, I use Akarat's Champion with Rally. If I'm playing on a lower difficulty, I'll use Condemn with Vacuum, because that's like the sweeping wind move that the monk uses and it pulls them all in. If I'm playing on, let's say Torment 2 or Torment 3 with a group of people, I'll use Bombardment, or I'll even switch it to Consecration with Shattered Ground to help our team give us some more survivability. Again, that move's optional. Now for this, your 4 should always be one of the laws. The reason why I'm saying one of them is because don't be that jackass in your group that is running the same law as another Crusader. Just don't do it. One of each of laws in a group is really, really, really strong. So if you see another Crusader and they're not changing, just be a nice guy and just change it. But for the most part, I use this law along with Critical. It's a no-brainer. I mean, it's free damage. It's absolutely a no-brainer. For passives, again, it's a no-brainer. Iron Maiden. Now, if you guys are watching this and the new patch is out and the damage are changed, what happened was there was a bug and they fucked up Thorns and it was completely uncontrollable, and they nerfed it since, but it actually gives you 6k Thorns, not 49,000. So it's 6k. Heavenly Strength is, again, it's a no-brainer because I use a two-hander. Hold Your Ground is optional. You could fit anything else in here. If you have already a really good chance to block, you could use Towering Shield, Divine Fortress, Indestructible is good, Finery, I mean, any of them. Again, go for your playstyle. And then Renewal. Renewal is a must-have. This is why you stack chance to block. I can't tell you how often people are shocked that I can survive on Torment 3 and Torment 4 with my low toughness. It's because of that move right there. That is very, very strong. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and go over my Paragon points. Now Paragon points, the way I normally do them for any character in any build, my rule of thumb is stack whatever you're lacking for your current character. And what I mean by current is, let's say you pick up an item that doesn't give you any vitality. Okay, we'll come in here and give yourself vitality, That's what I mean. A lot of people get confused. I will state this, and I will say that there is no optimal Paragon points for this build. There's no such thing as the most optimal. I can't fucking talk. Optimal. So again, just do whatever you want. If I'm playing on a higher difficulty, I'll come in here and I'll just pump all my points into vitality, because vitality is really nice to have. Offense is the only Paragon that is actually a no-brainer. Critical hit damage and cooldown reduction. Defense, again, I'll swap them out. Sometimes I'll do this. I'll go all resist. And then sometimes I'll go armor, sometimes I'll go life. Again, it all depends on what I'm playing. It all depends on what gear I'm wearing. Utility, it's up to you. A lot of times I do this right here. If I'm playing on a lower difficulty, just because 50, who doesn't like gold? Who doesn't like 50% gold? You know what I mean? Life on hit doesn't work with hammers, and neither does. You have enough. If you can't, with this build, if you're having a problem with Torment 1, you're doing something wrong. I just want to point that out, because with this build, I can go and stand and let bosses kill themselves, which I'll even show you guys. I've ran rifts on Torment 1 with this build by never attacking. I've taken off Blessed Hammer and just ran there. So again, if you're having problems on Torment 1 with this build, you're doing something wrong. So that's pretty much the idea for this build. I'm gonna go and put it back in the strength. Okay, now I forgot to I'll go and go over my stats really quick for you guys. Really quick though, Wes is a faggot. And the stats, a lot of people ask me what's the priority list for this build? What stats do I stack? The best answer I can give you is build it like a stereotypical Crusader, which you want strength, you want crit hit chance, and you want crit hit damage. Not a single one of them have a priority over the other. You also want Thorns damage. Yes, this is a Thorns build, but you still need to prioritize your other stats over Thorns, because I could get 40k Thorns right now, but I'll be down to 200k health. My strength won't be that high. And the reason why all these things play a factor into one another is because, okay, what are you supposed to do when, this happens? Your cooldowns are all popped. What are you supposed to do? Now you have to rely on your main moves, which are Blessed Hammer and Punish. So that's why you want to stack just like a normal Crusader. There's also a lot of bosses out there that Thorns do not work very well against, which the primary one that comes off the top of my head is the Skeleton King. He's not hard, but he's just annoying. It's a long fight. Same thing with the Butcher. I can beat him, but it's just a very annoying long fight. So please keep that in mind. Please, please, please. I'm trying to think if I missed anything else. I'll go ahead and show you guys the play style of the build, and I'll go ahead and explain what you would do if you were in a group. Pretty much the play style of this build is, again, you want to keep moving. So let's just go. I don't know. Let's just do a quick bounty for you guys, just so you guys can see how it is. Actually, we'll go here. You want to basically, when you get here, you want to run. Now, if you watch, I'm not going to kill that guy because it's not worth it right now. Now watch, when I get hit, see that lightning coming off me? So, I attack, and I keep running. I attack, and I keep running. And you can see the lightning arcs connecting, and they're doing really good damage. Now I know, again, I'm on Torment 1, boo-hoo, get the fuck over it. But this is exactly how I play on Torment 3 and Torment 4. The only thing that's different is I'll slow down and I'll cast, say, 2 or 3 of them. Now with this build, your main goal is to kill elites. That's your goal. You see an elite, you get up in his face, press 2, press 1, press 3, press 4. You'll get up in his face like that. Now, some abilities that elites have proc Thorns better than other ones, which is why he didn't die that quick. I'm gonna try to find one and show it to you guys, but if not, I'll just do a quick siege breaker run so you guys can fully see what it looks like. So as you can see, this is all I'm doing. This is how you play with this build. Don't be scared to use potions. Don't be scared to run away. And always make sure you have your Hardened Senses proc up from your Punish up. An easy indicator to know if it's up or not is not only because it shows you, but your shield, if you look at it, will have a gold glowing aura coming off of it. So that's a very easy indicator. Okay, now I'll go and kill this guy really quick. I'll show you an easy way how to beat these guys. Actually, let me see. Okay. I'm trying to get over to him, but this little Lord Damnation won't let me. you're ever fighting a guy with dampening, the easiest thing to do is stand still, cast hammer a couple times, run to the opposite side, and you'll see my lightning arcs. They connect to him to kill him, so that's an easy way to kill him. Let me go and swap out my other move. And if I'm missing anything, by all means, please post on this video. This is my first time ever making a guide for a character, so it is going to be a little bit long, and it won't be as in-depth as some of the other well-known guide makers out there, such as Ziggy, the Incrip, and others. Sorry if I missed anyone. Now, I'm going to show you guys really quick what this build can do, and where I get all my damage from. Or, not so much get my damage from, but so you guys can actually see the damage that it can do. Because a lot of people, when they come to my stream, or not even my stream, but when I post on forums, a lot of people are saying to me, you know, this build doesn't do that much damage, he's a fraud, he's just trying to get viewers to his channel. No, I'm not like that. This build really does do the damage I say. It has gotten a little bit lower. I used to cap off at 47 mil, but I actually had to reduce that damage to gain survivability, which everyone knows how that goes. Which I think it was a fair trade-off. It was a completely fair trade-off. I'm going to show you guys. I'll do this really quick, and then I will go and kill Diablo for you guys, so you guys can see that really quick too. Oh, this is a good one. Now, if you look, he has Orbiter. Orbiter is a little lightning orbs. The easiest way to kill these guys is just stand in the lightning. Stand in the lightning ball. See? Bam! He just popped instantly. I don't know if you guys can see that because Rack's Crossing is bugged and it glitches out on people's computers, but I was hitting for 39 mil constantly right there. And I didn't even need to attack. What I'm doing right now is I'm going to run and kill the Siegebreaker. I'm going to kill the Siegebreaker just like I just killed that guy. He's going to die almost instantly. If you guys want to have fun, what I normally have people do is count. Okay, here we go. Start attacking a little bit, press condemn to start pulling them in, taunt them, hit one, and they all start dying. True, they were already weak when I popped my items or my abilities, but again, that's the beauty of this build. Let me think of some other things really quick to go with the build before I end this guide. Probably there's pros and cons to this build, just like there's pros and cons to every build. The pros would be you do insane burst damage, and I mean this, I don't think that any other build in this game has the burst damage that this build brings. You're naturally tanky. It's actually a pretty fast build considering that Crusaders are slow. And you can do stuff like this. And you just seen how quick I just killed him. I do Torment 5 runs on this guy. Yes, I do change my gear around, but that gives you an idea. The cons for this build is some bosses take forever to kill. You're slow. Killing treasure pygmies or treasure goblins are extremely difficult with this build, simply because the build revolves around being hit, and it's not treasure goblin friendly. So if you guys enjoy killing them, please do not do this build. You guys will not enjoy it. Another con about it is it's very stat dependent and it's very gear dependent. Basically meaning that you've seen a bunch of my gear, now you take this amulet. This amulet's good no matter how you look at it. Anyone would use that. A barb or a crusader of any build. That's a good fucking, you know, amulet. So again, it's really hard because you got to get good stats on it before you can roll thorns on it. But that's the beauty of it. That's what makes it fun. It makes you keep playing the game to extend the build. Another con of it is I do think that this build might hurt at higher torments, simply because Iron Skin does not last that long, and I don't see Thorns being able to get that high, so I could definitely see it hurting higher up at the difficulties. Again, I'm sorry for this video for stretching for 30 minutes long. I wish I could crunch it down faster. I'm sorry. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, please post in the comments. Hit the subscribe button, or you could follow me on my stream and watch me there and ask me any questions there. And before I close this out, Wes is a faggot. And thanks, and hope you guys liked the video.